Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Welcome to Heart Center Connection. At the Heart Center, we offer an environment where everyone can share their strength and their gifts with total freedom and authenticity. We pride ourselves on compassion, and we pride ourselves on this loving community where everyone can authentically share our our strengths and our gifts. And I am Dr. J. Dubois, or Jonathan J. Dubois, PhD, and I'm a professor of human relationships. And tonight I'm really honored that we're hosting Dr. Monique Giard, because Dr. Monique is not only an experienced trauma therapist, but she's a quantum healing practitioner certified by the Tao Academy. She's a really interesting theoretician, and she's the author of a book called The Power of the Source. With over 25 years as a clinical counselor, Dr. Monique integrates trauma-informed care with EMDR therapy, soul communication, and the Tao Technologies of Dr. and Master Zhi Gang Sha to support deep healing across the soul, heart, mind, and body. Her approach combines psychology and spirituality together that have supported many people in transforming their trauma, helping them move from survival into resilience, clarity, and empowerment. And Dr. Monique, I've just had the pleasure of attending a Dr. and Master Sha retreat this weekend. There's a lot of powerful energy in the air. And this last note in your bio about empowerment, I'd love to understand how you came to empower yourself as a healer and what it was exactly that inspired you to become a healer, and tell us a bit about your journey to get here. And then we'll get deeper into the questions. We have a lot of questions this week from our audience. So I'm really excited to ask you some of these questions. But if you share a little bit of your journey with us, that would be great.
I felt really bad for a long time. But what I did not know is that it affected me with deep depression. But I was a mother. I had a young child, and I had to go on with my life. So I suppressed all emotions. I suppressed everything to survive, to function. So my journey at the time, in the same year, 2005, that's when I met Dr. Peter, who introduced the technologies of Master Sha. And eventually, I met Master Sha. And that's what helped me first, that I was suffering from dissociation. I was no longer in my body. I had suppressed so many emotions that I was not there. I was not present. And I had this depression that I could not name. And because I was functioning, I was a university professor. I had, I was running my household. I was doing all the tasks, but I was not there. I was not there in my heart.
Mm.
So the journey has been to acknowledge the pain, to acknowledge my emotions, to get back in my body with the techniques of, of 𝐻𝐸𝐥𝐥, go the lower dantian that we learned from Asha, to be in my body. So the first step was to reconnect with my body, then reconnect with my emotions, and then eventually with all the teachings of Master Sha and the psychology that I learned, was to understand that it was way beyond that pain. Pain was so deep, but it was not only my pain, it was my mother's pain, the ancestral pain, the collective pain. I come from, on my mother's side of the native nation, Abenaki Nation, silence. We couldn't talk about it. My mother never talked about it. She was also dissociating from her roots. She was disconnecting from her roots. So I learned unconsciously, I learned to not talk about who I really am. So that's right there, disconnection. And so through the techniques of Master Sha, I learned about soul. What is soul? Soul is all that information that we carry consciously and subconsciously. So the journey has been fantastic, Jay.
Yes, it's so. I mean, I'm so excited. It's. I mean, I know it's a very deep and heavy journey, and I didn't know until this moment really that we share this detail in common because I lost my brother early in my journey, my healing journey, my spiritual journey, and I took this very deeply. It very much. I took it. I took myself as responsible when it happened, but what's also really fascinating about the commonalities in our journey is that shamanic journeying, shamanic techniques begin at the level of the soul, as do Master Sha's Tao technologies. So I wonder if you could speak a little bit about this, right? Because across EMDR and shamanic journeying and Master Sha's Tao technologies, I noticed there's a very that so first of all, one of our viewers has pointed out a commonality in her experience between a shamanic journey and the imagery that she receives when she's connecting with Tao calligraphy, that her inner landscape is similar, that the guidance that she receives is similar, and I have also noticed this. So this very kind of fascinating question came from one of our viewers, right? And what she asks is, she sometimes experiences what she understands as spirit guides within this space that we're talking about, this soul space, this soul perspective. So from your perspective, and she wants to also know from my shamanic perspective, how do we see these different ways of engaging or healing our system across different layers, right? And then she gives an example. She's noticed that Tao technologies tend to work on the spiritual level, while EMDR helps her at the physical level. It helps her ground her body and her conscious awareness. So I wonder if you'd like to speak to this. I have a few comments about this myself, and about the relationship between these things. But perhaps you can start us off by perhaps sorting some of these different strains out.
Absolutely. This is a great question. And many
Yes.
people come to me because they've heard that EMDR is very efficient in
Right.
treating trauma. It is true. What I like the most about EMDR, and I often combine, in my sessions, EMDR protocol, because I'm a trained EMDR therapist, and the Tao technology. Let's clarify that. EMDR is really good to understand, and many people say, why? Why am I repeating these patterns? Why I feel so stuck? And I heard that EMDR is really good to get me unstuck. So the thing is, often people are not in their body, and that's why I say EMDR is so good. And that's what I did first. I went to my therapist, and then she helped me. Okay, you're not in your body. And so I realized when I practiced to be in my body that I was not always there. So EMDR protocol helps the client get in the body.
Yes.
So it's a body awareness, and we use the techniques of breathing, looking inward, and it's really in line with Tao science to observe, to feel, to be fully present in the body without judgment. So once we are in the body, many people don't like to feel, or they have a hard time feeling. That goes into the heart. So when we feel again, we don't judge, we accept the emotions. And so it opens the heart. So EMDR is really good for being in the body, opening the heart, allowing the emotions to flow without judgment. But most importantly, in the protocol at EMDR, we also connect with the negative message. And that is really ties really well with Tao technology and the soul. In Tao science, the soul is all the information that we've gathered, all the information, positive and negative, that we may have taken on consciously or unconsciously by what we've seen, what we've heard, even in the mother's womb, what we've felt when we were there for 9 months or less, depending. So all the experiences, the sensory experiences, to see, to hear, to smell, to taste, to touch, or lack of touch, whatever it is imprinted in the body at all levels. And so in EMDR, we are connecting with the negative message that comes to the surface through the EMDR work. And sometimes we have to go back in the womb, we have to go back in those early years to repair what has been done. EMDR is to repair. Now, let's talk about Tao technology. What's the difference with Tao technology is that, many people may know that 90% of our consciousness is actually, 90% of our mind is subconscious. And so when people come into therapy, they may not be aware of those negative messages, or they might not be aware of their protective defense mechanisms, whatever they have developed to survive or to function. And so, again, Tao technology works at a much deeper level. And sometimes when the channels are open through the practices of Tao technology, that's the connection with shamanic work. That is, the channels are opening. And though the ancient practices of shamans and the practices of fasting, of sweat lodges, all kinds of practices, ancient practices,
Yes.
will open the channels and connect with spirits.
Yes, of course.
So nowadays, everybody, yeah? You want to say something, Jay?
No, I was just thinking. Master Sha
Okay.
likes to say
So
purify, 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 and the
yes.
Temescal sweat lodge technology is all about purification. So of course,
Absolutely, absolutely.
these are very ancient technologies.
Exactly. Ancient technologies. But not everybody has the opportunity to know a shaman or to know an elder that will take you on a vision quest,
It's true.
or on a sun or on a fast for 4 days. I've done all this. And that's when I realized that that was helping me open my channels. But, in my 70s, I don't necessarily want to go on a mountain for 4 days all by myself, or do dancing and singing for 4 days. It's like, maybe I'm called to do something else. And that's what Master Sha is offering.
Yes, yes,
I can be right here in my home and inviting people to have an incredible experience in the calligraphy light wall, in the field of Tao technology. And it's instant. They are in the field. As we open the field, they are with us in the field of Tao technology. And that's where and when people can transform their subconscious negative belief. And some people, after a while, they would say, oh my gosh, I realize I'm just as critical as my mother was. They unconsciously have taken on that critical voice, and it's coming surface for healing. And Tao technology offers the techniques to transform that. Or somebody would say, oh, I realize I'm so angry, but I don't know what to do with my anger. Make anger your friend because it has a message for you.
Yes,
And
yes.
then we are, yes, it has a message. Oh, you want to say something, Jed?
Well, it's okay. I just I agree with your perspective. I just want to add a little bit of depth with with the perspective that she was asking of, and then I want to I want to focus us towards some of the research that you've done. But so from a shamanic perspective, it, and from the master Sha perspective as well, they're very similar because they're both dealing with the level of the soul, right? But the difference is that from the shamanic perspective, there are all these fragments of the soul, and what I'm coming to understand is that from Master Sha's perspective, we see the soul as a whole. So we can, and the soul as is the boss in Master Sha's philosophy and understanding, and so we can really affect what's happening at the level of the body by changing it at the level of the soul. At the same time, in Western therapy, we would say that the body keeps the score, and all of this trauma, it goes and sits in our body. So we get to unlock it at the level of the body to process it. And so I'm wondering what you find, how you integrate these two perspectives. And I, of course, have my own perspective on this, but because as a shamanic practitioner, I've been thinking about this for some time. But as a therapist and as a Tao technology practitioner, what is your perspective on this?
Yes. This is really good. You summarize it so well, the ancient wisdom and the newer technology. What happens is, as you know, in psychology, we often call the dark side the shadow.
Mm,
And so let's say we have a dark side, the shadow, and it's there. And what we want to transform is to welcome the shadow, to observe it, but we need high frequency and vibrations. We really need high frequency and vibrations. And the nervous system, because we're talking about everything is in the whole body. And we want to allow our nervous system to receive the high frequency and vibrations. Like if you were in a, it's it's difficult to compare nowadays the work of the shamanic work unless you are very pure, because what Tao technology offers is the very high frequency. We are in the third dimension. Tao technology is offering a higher frequency and vibration. So when we are in the field, we can allow the nervous system to relax. And what I've observed, Jay, is that people have resistance to change. The
mm,
nervous system used to protecting with anger, with frustration, with I am right, you are wrong, or with fighting, competition, and jealousy, that the nervous system is wired that way. So, what we do with Tao technology is receiving high frequency and vibrations to relax the nervous system and to accept the change, because many people in my practice, they're not aware that they don't accept to change. They are
mm,
on guard. They say no, 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 it's not safe to change. I've used this pattern all my life, and it's not safe to change. And the whole process in the Tao Chang, it works very, very deep at,
mm,
at the at the information level, at the soul level, without the person even knowing it. You don't need to know what's going on. You don't need to understand what your ancestors did, but you need to know that it might be ancestral karma or ancestral behavior. It could be the collective behavior that you carry. I work with a lot of indigenous people. When they become aware that their anger or the cancer that they have is because of the rage, the unconscious rage that they have against society. So when you are in the field, wow, the field of high frequency, it is like a shower of light that works to transform those negative messages into the more positive field, to relax, to say, you don't need to fight anymore. You don't need to fight anymore. You're safe. You're okay. You're good. No fight. You are safe. Yeah.
Yeah, so I really appreciate your simultaneous soul level and nervous system grounding approach, and I can really receive it from the way that you talk and the way that you describe what you do. But I would like for you for a moment to parse these two things out for our audience, because again, we hear that the body keeps the score and that this trauma sits in our body. And here, we're talking about Master Sha and Tao Technologies and working at the level of the soul. And I can clearly hear you sort of addressing the nervous system at the same time as the soul. So I wonder if you'd take a moment and just help us understand this a little better from your perspective.
Yes. Okay. For example, if someone comes to me and says, "Oh, I have this anger and I'm losing my friends because I'm so angry." And then I would say, okay, let's work with this. Let's work with this emotion, with judgment. And then we explore where in the body is this anger, and to do a practice to really, the person would really feel heard and accepted without judgment. And then, for one client in particular, it was not safe to feel angry with me or to say, I lost it. I really lost it at work. And it's okay. Let's explore that. And then we look at what happened before and before and before. And then there's a trauma there. So we explore the trauma and without judgment. And then we go back in the body. Where do you feel that? How do you feel about that situation? And then the anger rises. Okay, allow it without judgment, because it was never safe to let go of that anger, because anger was the only way that the person could survive the unfairness or the abuse. And so when we explore that, then we say, okay, what can you do to feel safe now? What would you need to feel safe now? And the person tells me, and we go with that. And then when we say that, okay, what would you need? Because the person was never asked, what do you need to feel safe? It was not safe ever. And people sometimes tell me, I don't feel safe anywhere. Okay, right here, right now, in this moment, if you put your feet and you focus on your feet on the ground, if you focus with me right here, right now, in this moment, allow yourself to feel safe. It's like scary. So the nervous system doesn't know what to do. No, no, no. Let go. And then I would invite the person to breathe in, and I would open my Tao calligraphy light wall, and together we would do the practice. Breathe in, raise your arms, receive the light, relax. And we would process this issue of not feeling safe until the person, and I can feel the person relaxing, relaxing, relaxing. And then we would do it. Breathe in. And then we would use a mantra, greatest love melts all blockages. So these are the blockages in the nervous system. Okay, let's breathe in, breathe in. Greatest love melts all blockages. And then I say, okay, visualize the light coming down inside of you like a shower of light, all the way down to your feet. And, relaxing the nervous system. And when people are a little bit more advanced or they know the teachings of Master Sha, or I would recommend this book, the Tao Calligraphy Healing Field. And there's a beautiful mantra, 𝐓𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸, which is the chi channel, energy channel. And that's where it is similar to the shamanic work, is the vibrations, to allow the vibrations of a high mantra. And, you know, shamanic work is the use of those sounds with the drum and the rattles to really let go of the mind and really come into, like, with the stomping of feet and the drumming, to really get in the body. And so I would say to people, like, stomp the floor and get up and stand up and then do the chi channel. Hey, hang hong ha shi wong yo. Learn the chi channel to get the energy to flow in the body all the way. So when people start practicing, they are opening the channels, they are connecting with spirit. That's when they start seeing images. That's when they start connecting. And so for me, I've done, a lot of shamanic work. I connect with the animals. I connect with goals. I connect with everything in nature because they are so powerful. And then when the channels are really open, our spiritual channels, the Chi channel, the Jing channel, the Shen channel, we are receiving information, and that's intuition. And some people say, well, I have a feeling that this is what I need to do. Yes, follow your intuitions. You have a singing voice, sing. Because when you sing, you are really in your element. You are
Yes.
truly connecting with who you really are. People say, when I dance, I feel free. Well, dance more. Go out skipping. Or people say, I like the feeling of being above the earth, of flying, or I like to go up in mountains. Go up in mountains. This is the best, the highest frequency. This is liberating. Connect with nature. And then people start to listen to their intuitions, to listen to the messages. Yes.
I really
And that's
love,
shamanic work. When you
yes,
start listening.
yes. I really love the way you think and the way you work sort of blends all the way from the soul to the body, from the spiritual to the physical, and sort of seamlessly. And I really love that. And I want to go, and we're going to go into a practice here in a moment. Before we do, though, I saw you at a conference talk a bit about your work and the research that you've done around the efficacy of Tao calligraphy and Tao technologies. And I wonder if you just address this. And also, I understand that you've written a book. So if you could sort of lead us in that direction, and then I would love
Yeah.
for us to do a practice together.
Okay, good. Yes, I've written this book, Power of the Source, and I weave in the work that I've done also. My spirit name in indigenous, that I've received from my indigenous aunt is Yellow Elk Woman. So the reason I talk about Yellow Elk Woman, my spirit name, how she comes into the book, the animals, and to use the the methodology of indigenous practices because they are teachers.
Hmm.
Animals, the mountains and then the rocks are the keepers, the data keepers, like the Akashic records. They are the keepers of knowledge. And so when I weave the and welcome animals in my book, in my story, is that for me, I'm an L. That means I like the mountains, I like the heights, but also the L is a symbol of stamina.
Mm.
So what the teachings of the L, and every person has a spirit name, but they don't know that. Every person is connected to a very, very significant animal, saint animals or spirit, or it could be a tree, it could be a plant, it could something from nature. And why is that? Is that because nature is very intelligent.
Mm.
And in Tao science, that's what it says. S plus E plus M equals one. We're all connected. And if we as human could understand how we impact one another and how we need one another, the world will be a different place. If we could understand and accept that we all have a role to play, and it's our journey to find out how to discover that specific role.
Mm.
And in Power of the Source, weaving, the indigenous background and the technology of Master Sha, in the language of Master Sha, it is called connecting with our true self, the Yuan Shen, Yuan Shen, Yuan Shen, connecting with who we truly are and what is our purpose in this lifetime. So when working, for example, with suicidal people, the work is to unlock that connection with their true self, for me, is to find the key or the way to access their true self, their true spirit, and to find out what is holding them back or what has caused the, you know, the, the, the desire to end this lifetime.
Mm.
What is the root cause? And when they understand that there is a way out by connecting truly with who they are, their gifts, their wisdom. And so many people have many negative beliefs. I can't do that. It's impossible. Well, the Tao Calligraphy Light Wall is an opportunity to the journey to a higher level is much easier, but we need to open the heart
Mm.
and let go of the
Come on.
pain and to understand that in the biggest sorrow challenges, the soul is growing.
Mm.
Challenges, the soul is growing.
Mm. So true and so
You are
wise.
muted. You are muted, Jay.
Oh, Raj, can you
You are
unmute me,
muted.
please? Raj, can you unmute the Zoom? Me on the Zoom? Okay, perfect. Thank you so
Yes.
much, Dr. Monique. And I believe Winnie has a question or comment.
I just want to take a moment to acknowledge everyone who's in the Zoom room.
You want to come in the screen, please?
Hello, Helen and Sarah Baker, April, Sylvia, and probably my dad. Love you, love you, love you. Thank you so much. And thank you, Sarah, for turning on your camera. And at this moment, we wonder if Helen or Sarah have any question for our beloved guest or
There's a
anything
question.
you want to say.
What is the question, Corey?
So someone in the YouTube chat says, I'm not sure what, but they say, much love, how quickly could this work? Since I had a spiritual awakening a while ago.
Sorry, let's give you a microphone. So, Monique, we have a question from the YouTube chat. So, hand over the microphone to Chloe.
Hey.
Hello, this is a question from our YouTube. They say, much love. How quickly could this work? Since a spiritual awakening I had a while ago, I've let the pain body, fear, take up residence, and it's increasingly hard to access deep emotion, presence, and imagination.
Mm.
And I'm not sure what they're in
Okay.
reference to, but maybe EMDR or opening spiritual channels. That's what I.
Okay. So what I understand from the question, when you have a spiritual awakening, it opens, like spiritual awakening can take some time to stabilize. Sometimes when people have a spiritual awakening, it could be very troubling and destabilizing because things that you took for granted, the way you were, the way people perceived you is altering, it's changing. So when you have a spiritual awakening, your system is reorganizing. Your brain goes through a reorganization. A little bit like, okay, you had your home. Now you're packing everything and you don't know where things are. It's in boxes, you're moving, you're getting into a new apartment, and then you have to unpack. And okay, what am I doing with this? When you have a spiritual awakening, your reference, your framework is not the same. So there's a period of adjustment.
Yes.
And some people can find that period of adjustment very painful.
Yes.
And they think they go crazy. We had Dr. Lukoff, who has written a lot about spiritual awakening, and his own personal journey was like, and I suspect many people that are lost, they have experienced spiritual awakening and they've been labeled schizophrenic or other names, but actually because their heart and their sensitivity is so acute that they perceive everything and they don't know what to do with it. They need to be guided.
Yes.
They need to have a mentor that understands spiritual enlightenment, spiritual awakening, and how to channel all that information and protect themselves, to protect. And that's what Tao technology comes in. It's a powerful channel. It's a powerful shower of light that also creates a protection. But people need to be guided. Now, spiritual awakening, adjustment, and creativity. Spiritual awakening is to align with who you truly are. So the journey to adjust to that spiritual awakening is to align with your talents, your gifts, your skills, your intelligence, and to protect from the places that are not in line with who you are. It's
Yes.
a little bit like an alcoholic that is on a journey to recovery, and the friend would say, okay, we're going to a party. It's going to have lots of girls, lots of booze. And the person says, oh my gosh, I'm in my recovery. Is that a safe place for me? If you're young in your recovery, of course not. If you're not strong enough in your recovery, in your adjustment, it's not safe. And sometimes I say to people, if you don't have a buffer for the negativity that you hear on the news, that you see, don't have a proper buffer to protect you, you're going to be affected. So you need to discern where you go, what you do, and how you're utilizing your intuitions to develop your creativity.
Yes.
You need to have a place that's that your instinct. Yeah.
Something that can be really important to remember when you're going through a spiritual awakening, especially when you're new, is that it may seem like the pain is never going to end, and that the pain is sort of permanently reprogrammed or something. What I want to say here is that there's enough space, rather than avoiding the pain, rather than turning away from the pain, allow ourselves enough space to experience the pain, but not let it overwhelm us and rule our decision making. We can really change our level of consciousness, our level of engagement. So thank you so much,
Yes,
Dr.
totally.
Monique, for everything that you've contributed tonight. It's been a fascinating conversation, and I would love to go on further. But this is the point in the evening where we usually turn to a practice. And Winnie, I wonder if you would come on and lead us in a Qi channel practice. That because Dr. Monique talked about the Qi channel and how this would help help people ground their nervous system. And I think this is a really important feature, right? So another thing I want to add before I pass it on to Winnie is that one of the things that Dr. Monique has pointed towards and in some cases explicitly talked about is this simultaneous ability of Tao calligraphy and Tao technologies to address the root cause and the nervous system ungroundedness, the nervous system difficulties that we have at the same time, and really transform our blockages. And the way that we do this is we open ourselves as fully as we are able at the beginning so that we can really receive all of the positive information as Dr. Sha would put it. So Winnie, if you would come and lead us in a Qi channel practice, I would be greatly appreciative.
Wow, wow, wow. Thank you, thank you, thank you, everyone. Okay, everybody on YouTube, Facebook, and on Zoom, wherever you are, let's give Dr. Monique some love, give her some emojis, leave a comment. If you have any more questions, please do leave it in the chat. We will read every comment and reply. And if the team can please leave Dr. Monique's website, her book, how to buy her book, how to ask her more questions. And Dr. Monique, if you can leave any email and contact information, and hopefully our team can copy and paste it from the Zoom onto Facebook and YouTube as well. And I am so delighted to be asked to lead this channel. So everybody just close your eyes for a second and let's put one hand over the heart and one hand over the lower abdomen. And just begin to enjoy. Let's start by bringing a little smile on the face. Maybe you've known someone who is suicidal, or maybe even you have had some dark thoughts. So whether you are doing this practice to support a loved one or for yourself, thank yourself for doing this work. Because a stable nervous system is the biggest gift, biggest self-love, and the biggest positive influence we can have on our family members, on our team members. So just take a moment to acknowledge yourself for showing up, and especially I want to thank my mom, my dad, Helen, Sarah, Raj, April, Chloe, and everybody watching online, because it is you that make this podcast possible and a success. So before we begin, I want you to imagine that you're receiving gratitude from Winnie's heart. That all you got to do is show up. And visualizing golden light in your heart. And I also want you to imagine that you're sending your gratitude to Dr. Monique, to Jay, to me, and to every other person live and watching the recording later. for participating in the mental health conversation, for being so open and honest with any darkness or shadow that might be coming up right now. Let's send thanks for everyone who is taking their time to show up. That's it. Feel yourself enjoying and relaxing in this body. You know, the body is actually a sacred, sacred temple. And we're going to shorten the 𝐓𝐸𝐸𝐥𝐥𝐥 channel to just home. So I want you to make a chi ball in front of your belly button. And let's just chant home. And everyone has different size inhale and exhale. It doesn't matter if you have a long or short inhale, long or short exhale. You're just going to chant home as long as you can. Take a long deep breath and come in. Enjoy. And just a moment of silence. Okay, how does everyone feel? Welcome you to type in the chat, and if my team can help me and let me know if there's any comment on Zoom or Facebook or YouTube, let me know. And at this time of the evening, we usually pick a demo for the Tao Calligraphy Light While Breathing. So if you'd like to be a demo, please do raise your golden hand or leave a comment. Chloe, can you read some comments? Jay, can you read some comments?
Monique Giard gives a link to the Power of Source. Helen says that was amazing. Thank you, Winnie. Sarah Baker says powerful. Thank you. Helen, our dear Helen May Chan says that was amazing. Thank you, Winnie. And April says wonderful. Thank you. Monique says that she's feeling rejuvenated.
Okay, great. Yes, Chloe? Okay, can you let Chloe read a comment?
There's just one person. This is a question for Dr. Monique. I was wondering if you know any retreats in Canada, and if next time you speak, if you know any, if you can mention. There's just someone asking, and they're from Canada. But yes, that's for when you get the chance. Thank you.
There are many retreats in Canada, particularly actually the center in Toronto is open. Master Shamana Center in Toronto. There will be what's called the third conference of Tao Technology, Tao Science, and Tao Research, and that will be in October 23rd, and we invite people at this particular retreat. We will talk about longevity. You know, we want to live longer. We want to live happier. We want to live healthier. So we will talk speakers around research on how to prolong life. Many people think we want to also say that it's how we use now technology to boost our systems, rejuvenate, open up channels, and to practice to live a long life, happy, healthy, empowered, and enlightened. So October, scientists, acupuncturists, surgeons, those here nothing's going to stop me.
Perfect. Okay, so we are Sarah. I'm wondering if you want to be a demo for the Tao Calligraphy Light Well breathing.
Sarah Baker?
Can you tell us a little bit about how you're feeling and how can we support you at this particular moment?
Oh, let's see now. I'm feeling pretty good, actually. But I'm always interested in uplifting my heart.
Okay, okay. All right, great. So let's focus on the heart. So if the team can put up the Tao Calligraphy Light Wall. So let me tell you a little bit about this. So and the sound is back on.
Can you
Tenda,
ask if people can hear
tenda, 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 which is the greatest love, greatest forgiveness, greatest compassion, greatest light, greatest humility, greatest harmony, greatest flourishing, greatest gratitude, greatest service, and the greatest enlightenment. And for beloved Sarah tonight, and for all of us, well, we're going to all direct the energy for her, but what wants to happen is to open the heart to increase the gratitudes. Because in Tao science, the heart is the receiver. So the more awareness we have, the bigger the gratitude. So what was going to happen is we're going to do this breathing called 𝐓𝐨𝐞𝐭𝐡𝐞𝐫. So Xi means inhale, and you're going to hear me count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Qing means the source, most positive information, energy, and matter. Hu means exhale. And draw is the blockages in the heart that block us from receiving the gratitude. And I especially love this one because to receive gratitude allows us to receive more people and receive more money and receive more positive information. So it's like a snowball effect. The more we open the heart, the more gratitude we have, the more we have more heart opening and more gratitude. So when we all want that for ourselves, yes, so let's try that. So everyone, let's direct this towards Sarah Baker. So inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, chant open heart. Open my heart. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, chant. Open my heart. Visualizing golden light from the calligraphy wall into your heart. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, chant. Open my heart. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, chant. Open my heart. And now I want you to put the other hand in the second chakra. So below the belly button, let me take a step back so you can see. So we're going to chant, receive more gratitude. Is that grammatically correct? Receive more gratitude? Okay. So what I'm hearing is that before we have gratitude to give, we first receive the gratitude, okay? So we're going to inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, we're going to chant, receive more gratitude. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, chant. Receive more gratitude. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, chant. Receive more gratitude. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, chant. Receive more gratitude. And now I want you to imagine that the heart chakra and the sacral chakra, they're two best friends. The heart says, I love you, and send the energy down to the sacral chakra. And from the sacral chakra, it says, I got you, I support you, back up. Right? So this is a relationship between yin and yang. So the yang loves the yin, and the yin supports the yang, nourishes the yang, grounds the yang. And that yin and yang, although it looks like they're opposite, but actually yin transforms to yang, and yang transforms to yin, and yin needs yang to grow, and yang needs yin to grow. Right? A lot of people, we have this fear of darkness when really
we need darkness as much as we need the light, just like, after the new moon comes the full moon, and after the sunset comes the sunrise, right? So imagine, instead of women being paid 77 cents on the dollar and people not appreciating their mother, not appreciating the thoughts, their feelings, their yin, their body, is that actually the body is very, very important. So we're going to harmonize the yin yang. So we're going to inhale 5 counts, and exhale, we're going to harmonize yin yang. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, chant. Harmonize yin yang. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, chant. Harmonize yin yang. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, chant. Harmonize yin yang. And now I want to add a little movement to it, okay? So everybody let loose a little bit, okay? Shrug your shoulders, or swing your arms, or tap your own body. Listen to how you want to move. Okay, maybe you want to tap, 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 and maybe you want to swing, swing, swing. Maybe you want to go a little bit crazy, but let it out, okay? Just let it out. Something about Dr. Monique, she said, we just need to remember to dance, right? Okay, at this point, I'm going to invite Dr. J to bring his drum, okay, to give us a little drum beat. And maybe some of our members want to sing their soul song, and invite anybody else want to sing can join us also, because really, you are perfect, I am perfect, we're all perfect. I am Tao, you are Tao. In fact, why don't we just, you drum and I chant. Let's just chant Tao, 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 Tao. Would that be fun?
Sure.
Okay.
Let's do it.
I think the camera needs to adjust because you're tall and I'm not as tall, and to make sure your head is in the picture. Okay, we're being instructed to move a little bit. You need to stand back.
There's not really much fun.
Okay.
Perfect.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
You ready?
Yeah. I'm gonna start with Love, Peace, Harmony, and then move on to Da 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 Da. Okay. You ready? Okay.
If you're gonna start with Love, Peace, Harmony, then you start.
Okay. Lula, lula, lee. 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 Lula. thank you, thank you. Love you, love you, love you. So thank you to Masha Sha, and thank you all the healing that happened. I'm wondering, Sarah, if you can share your experience. If you have any breakthroughs, please do let us know.
Well, first of all, thank you so much. That was a lot of fun. That was great. But just before we started, before you asked me if I wanted to be a demo, my heart was doing some sort of irregular beating. It's been fine all day. It's been great. Must have been aware that it was going to be given a special blessing. And so I'm very grateful for that. It's much calmer now. And thank you for the practice with the second soul house and gratitude. That's something definitely that I need to work on more. And I had an insight about the second soul house and finances and gratitude while we were doing the practice. So I'm really grateful for that also. And thank you for the work that you do. It's been a pleasure to be a part of it this evening, and I'm very grateful for the light and for the love that I received. Thank you so much, Monique.
Wow. Thank you so much. We here at Heart Center actually specialize in delivering people who want to increase their service and finances. We actually had like miracle happen here. Not intentionally, but just because we have so much fun. And here at the Heart Center, it's a loving community that encourages everyone to share their challenges and their gifts with total freedom and total authenticity. So everything is allowed, and it's a safe environment for all of us to speak out. And everybody who comes just says they love how safe and cool they feel in this container. So I'm glad you enjoyed it. And we also usually break into spontaneous singing and dancing for I don't know when or why, but.
So thank you so much, Denise. Thank you so much, Dr. Monique. I wonder, Dr. Monique, if you would come on one more time before we go and just let us know where we can find your book and where we can find you on social media before we close today. And then I'll give a brief announcement before we're finished.
Oh, thank you so much, Jay and Winnie. Thank you so much for having me. And this last part, my soul traveled to an ancient time when I was there with my elders around the fire, and we were stepping on Mother Earth with our moccasins and adjusting our rhythm to the rhythm of the earth. And we were listening to the resonance and the joy that Mother Earth felt as we were dancing and beating the rhythm, because we were adjusting our frequency to the frequency of the earth. And so when we dance freely like that, we release something that we are holding back. And it's very rare that, sometimes with Master Sha, we have those moments when we are invited to dance, and wow, it's like we are embracing that vital energy, that's rhythmic pulse, and it's so much fun. And I traveled way back in ancient time with many tribes. When we don't think about anything anymore, we are completely free. And with the Tao technology, that's also what we can do. And so that's why I like, the combination of shamanic work and to free and to shed the skin of the snake, shed it out, let that old skin go, and allow your spirit to be completely free. So my book can be found on Amazon, and in the chat, I wrote where it could be found, the bit.ly link that gets you there. Or you can say Power of the Source, Dr. Monique Giard, and you will get my book. And so when I work with people, sometimes I channel the guidance. And my nephew, for example, he came to one of the sweats I was holding in Vancouver years ago, when I was working with Indigenous youth, and I received a name for him, Rising Whale. He loves that name, Rising Whale. And, the whale has incredible power and longevity, and they can talk to each other from long distance away with their sound. So Rising Whale, can you imagine the whale completely out of the water in a beautiful performance? So Rising Whale is that energy within that wants to explode and come out. So if everybody can imagine their growing spirit completely free. So that's what is in my book too, some of the animal teachings of, what I see in people. Yeah?
It sounds really
Thank you for having me. It was an honor.
Yes, it's been an honor having you. I look forward to reading the book. I strongly recommend. I've seen Dr. Monique speak before, and she shares beautiful wisdom. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Check out Dr. Monique's book, The Power of Source. And of course, you can join us every weekday morning at 7 a.m. Pacific time for our morning breathing practice at breathing.heartcenter.la. That's 5 days a week. We do the 𝐓𝐨𝐞𝐭𝐡𝐞𝐫 practice that we did tonight at the end of the broadcast, but we do it in depth. We do it together. We do it in numbers. We really, on a daily basis, cleanse our field. Come together to release whatever has troubled us from yesterday, whatever karma that we've picked up, and we move forward into the day completely free of all of our burdens and refreshed. And you can find that again at breathing.heartcenter.la. And of course, you can join us here every Wednesday evening at 7 p.m. Pacific time for Heart Center Connection. And you can connect with that online at heartcenter.la/connection. Thank you so much for joining us tonight, Dr. Monique Giard. Thank you all for joining us, everyone who's joined us on Zoom, everyone who's joined us on Facebook and online elsewhere. We love you all. Thank you all. Have a great night and a great week. We look forward to seeing you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Oh,
Thank you for coming.
Ask Dr. Monique if she knows 3 friends to bring on the podcast.
Oh, yeah, so Dr. Monique, I just want to point out for everyone that we have this special where if you bring 3 friends onto the podcast, then we in exchange reward the viewers with 3 free 𝐓𝐶h𝐭𝐡𝐞𝐫 sessions. And so I'm wondering if you have friends that well, of course, they would be welcome, and we look forward to.
I meant mental health professional to the interview on the podcast.
You want to come make an announcement? I didn't know what you meant. So you want to come make an announcement?
Oh.
Here.
You don't need that.
So what I mean is we are a relatively new podcast, and our goal is to feature soul, mind, body wellness. So of course the Tao Technologies Light Well is the soul healing, and usually we have a qigong movement or a dance to move the body. And what we really want is to feature mental health professional. Any mental health professional, or even mental health enthusiast, mental health philanthropist, anyone who wants to talk about their journey and any mental health topic is encouraged and welcome. So if anybody has a good recommendation, please let us know.
At heartcenter.la, heartcenterla1@gmail.com.
Yes, so just get in touch with us. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone. Love you all. Bye.
Email.
heartcenterla1@gmail.com is our email if you want to recommend guests or topics. Thank you all. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Monique. It's great to talk to you.